Good morning. Thursday, February 3rd, 2022. Continuing my series on baseball as a numbers game, I wrote a book examining examining the achievements and stats of Baseball Hall of Fame players, available on Amazon. My first three videos on this subject, I've covered 35 chapters. If you want to see what is in those videos, you can tune into my YouTube channel, episode 329, 330, and 331. This is episode 332. Baseball is a numbers game, the fourth video. I'm on chapter 36. In this book, I wrote 84 chapters covering baseball stats and achievements of Hall of Fame players. Chapter 36 is titled The Top 162 Baseball Players Combined Stats Ranked. There are 162 position baseball players in the Hall of Fame that I cover, and I ranked them. What did I do? I took their hits, their career hits, career runs scored, career RBIs, and career batting average. And I took all four categories and added them as one total number. Who comes out on top? Who was ranked number one as far as those four categories total score? Following me? For example, if you had one hit, one run scored, one RBI, and your batting average is 100, what's your score? 100 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, which would be 103. Obviously, players who played 10, 15, 20, 25 years accumulated large numbers. So ranked number one, I go from 1 to 162 players. Who was number one? I'll let you ponder that for a second. But here's what I did. I took this person's hits. He had 4,189. I took his runs, 2,246 runs scored. I took his RBIs, 1,944. And I took his career batting average, 366. I added that as one total number. It came out to 8,745 total score. You know who it is. Ty Cobb. Out of 162 position ball players in the Hall of Fame, he has the highest total score, adding those four categories. Who is number two? Hank Aaron. 3, Pete Rose. 4, Stan Musial. 5, Cap Hansen. 6, Babe Ruth. 7, Willie Mays. 8, Carl Yastrzemski. 9, Tris Speaker. And rounding out the top 10, Honus Wagner. It's just a strain between Cobb and Aaron. If you add their total scores, it's only a difference of 202 points. Cobb had 8,745. Hank Aaron, 8,547. A difference of 202. That is close. Pete Rose also had over 8,000 total score. Musial, Anson, Ruth, Mays, Yastrzemski, Speaker, Wagner, Murray, and Jeter are all in the 7,000s. I'm not going to go through all 162, but the last person on this list, his total score was 2,743. Let's subtract. So you got Cobb at 87.45 And you have the last person, who is Roger Breshahan, catcher. His score was 2743. That's a difference of 6,000. You can see the rankings. But in this book, I go through the rankings. I list it. That's my chapter 36. If you want to know who your favorite player is, you'll have to get the book to find out where he landed up. One of my favorite players is Tony Gwynn. He landed number 41 as far as ranking. Roger Hornsby, 29. Some of these other guys, interesting. Mickey Mantle was ranked 47 total score. Of course, some of these guys, some played 15 years, some played 20, 25. Cap Hansen played 27 years. Ruth played 22 years. He lands number 6. How about the Splendid Splinter? Ted Williams landed 24. Griffey, 26. Some of these other players. Who was number 100? Harry Hooper. And like I said, Roger Breshahan landed number 162. But you got to give him credit. He made the Hall of Fame. All right. Also in this chapter 36, I cover the top 162 career batting average ranked, from number 1 to 162. Who's number 1? Ty Cobb, 366. I'll list the top 10. Then you got Roger Hornsby, 358. Ed Delante, 346. This is career batting average. Tris Speaker, 345. Ted Williams, 344. Dan Brothers, 342. Babe Ruth, 342. Harry Heilmann, 342. And then number 10, Willie Keeler, 341. Those are the top 10 career batting average ranked. My favorite player, Tony Gwynn. He was at 338. He was listed number 14. Another favorite player, Lou Gehrig. He was number 12 at 340. I go through all 162 players. Who's number 162? Ray Chalk, 253 lifetime career batting average. All right, also in this is one of my best chapters, chapter 36, ranking the baseball players. I also took another metric score. I took hits, runs, RBIs, and batting average in that first 162 I talked about. Cobb came out on top, 8,745 total score. But in this next section in this chapter, I decided, hey, why not add on the metric score and see what happens? So I added stolen bases, walks, on base percentage, slugging percentage, and total bases, all as one score. Are you following? So not only do you have 4 categories previously, but I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more categories. So you have 9 total categories. Add them all up as one total score. Who comes out on top? Well, I'll let you ponder. This person's hits, 3,771. Runs scored, 2,174. RBIs, 2,297. Career batting average, 305. Stolen bases, 240. Walks, 1,402. On base percentage, .374. Slugging, .555. Total bases, 6,856. Add up all those numbers. It came out to 17,984. Who am I talking about? Who landed number one? Hank Hammering Henry Aaron comes out number one in those 9 categories, all totaled up as one score. What do you think of that? Remember, in the first 4 categories, Ty Cobb came out on top, but he just barely beat Aaron by 202 points with hits, runs, RBI, and batting average as one score. He had 8,745. Aaron had 8,547. But in this, if you do the 9 categories of adding the stolen bases and walks, on base, slugging, total bases, add all that up, Henry Aaron comes out on top. Who is number 2 there? Ty Cobb. And isn't it interesting that Cobb comes number 2 in the 9 categories, because you got to wonder, why does Aaron beat Cobb in the total 9? Because Cobb had more stolen bases, but Aaron had more walks. Also, Aaron had more total bases. They're about the same on base and slugging. So the total bases is what pushed Aaron past Cobb for the number 1 spot. And their difference in total points is about 400. I thought it was interesting. If you want to rank players, look at the metric score and what their career achievements and stats were, and you will get a result. Who's number 3 on the list? Babe Ruth. He had more walks than Aaron and Cobb. His slugging was way up there. His on base was better. Where he fell short was in the total bases, because Cobb and Aaron had more total bases. Of course, Ruth, you got to factor in that he just had 16 to 17 years worth of work, because he pitched for his first 4 or 5 years. So the numbers weren't there in those first years, whereas Aaron and Cobb, Aaron plays 23 years, Cobb plays 24 years. What do you think? But anyway, the achievement still is remarkable for Ruth to come in number 3, despite the fact that he pitched 4 or 5 years. Who was 4? Stan Musial. 5, Willie Mays. 6, Pete Rose. 7, Carl Yastrzemski. 8, Ricky Henderson. I think Ricky got up there because of stolen bases and also walks. Chris Speaker was number 9. And rounding out number 10, Frank Robinson. So these guys have to be noteworthy. You have to include them as far as the greatest of all time. Aaron, Cobb, Ruth, Musial, Mays, Rose, Yastrzemski, Henderson, Speaker, and Frank Robinson. That's an interesting chapter 36. I like that. I also do the noteworthy. I put noteworthy accomplishments next to their stats. So that's one of my favorite chapters. And then also in this chapter 36, what is my favorite player hitting accomplishment? What do I consider extraordinary, excellent, exquisite, whatever word you want to use, noteworthy? What do I consider? So I came up with 36 preferred and favorite selections of hitting accomplishments by these Hall of Fame players, who came out number 1 as far as my estimation and summation. What is yours? My number 1 hitting accomplishment of the players who are in the Baseball Hall of Fame has to be career batting average. And I'm not just talking 5 years, 10 years. This guy, 24 years, career batting average, 366, Ty Cobb. I think that's remarkable. It really is. And out of his 24 years, his first year, I think he batted 240. So he's a rookie. Didn't play a full season, but bats 240. And then for the next 23 years, he maintains a 300 or above batting average. It ends up 366. Bats over 400 three times. Bats over 370, I believe it was 9 times batting for the season. So I put that number one. Number two, Joe DiMaggio's 56 game hitting streak. 56 games in a row? Are you kidding me? Nobody's come close. Pete Rose, Willie Keeler were in the 40s. I believe Rose 44 games. And Keeler 40, 44, 43, right in there. Hitting streak. You gotta consider that an accomplishment, and nobody's been able to match it. From 1870 until now, nobody's got past 44. Joe DiMaggio, 56 game hitting streak. Woo. Three, I got to go with Babe Ruth hitting 114 home runs in 2 years. A lot of the ball players in the Hall of Fame don't even have 100 career home runs. And he does it in 2 years, 114. Because he hit 60 in 1927 and he hit 54 in 1928, the following year. He follows up 60 home runs in a season with 54 more, 114 in 2 years. Okay. So out of the 36 accomplishments, I list them all. You got Hugh Duffy, 440 batting average. I think that was remarkable. How about Roger Hornsby, back-to-back 400 batting seasons? 2 seasons in a row, batting over 400. How about Ted Williams reaching base 84 games in a row? 84 games? How about George Sisler, 257 hits in one season? How about Pete Rose, 10 200-hit seasons? Jim Bottomley, 12 RBIs in one game. So on and on. That was chapter 36, remarkable chapter. Ranking the players, looking at their metrics, total scores, and their accomplishments. It was a lot of fun looking at it, seeing who is better than the other. Chapter 37, I just go through all 162 players and their batting average, career home runs, RBIs, and their noteworthy accomplishments, and I rank them. I go all the way down from 162 all the way down to number one. Who's my top 10? Well, I have a 10A and a 10B. I couldn't leave this guy out at the top 10. So I've got 11 people in the top 10 because I call number 10, 10A and 10B. Pete Rose is 10A. And then Tony Gwynn, number 10B. So that's number 10. Honus Wagner, number 8. Stan Musial, number 7. No. Honus Wagner, number 9. Stan Musial, number 8. Lou Gehrig, number 7. Ted Williams, number 6, counting down from the best. Number 5, Roger Hornsby. Number 4, Willie Mays. Some people argue he should be number 2 and number 1. I got him number 4. 3, Hank Aaron. 2, Ty Cobb. And number 1, the Bambino, Babe Ruth. And I prove it by the stats. And then in chapter 38, I list the best batting seasons ranked. What do I mean by this? Well, what I did was just the individual season, I added the total score there. So the home run, RBI, and batting average for one season as one score. The other one I did for the whole career. This one I do for seasons. Who had the best batting season of all time? Where you add the home runs, RBI, and batting average as one total number. Who's number 1? 1921 season, this guy hit 59 home runs. He had 171 RBIs, and he batted 378. So his total score is 608 total score. Who am I talking about? the Bambino, Babe Ruth. Surprisingly, number 2, Hugh Duffy, 1894, hit 18 homers, 145 RBIs, but he had a 440 batting average. So his score was 603, just missed out 5 points shy of Babe Ruth. How about that? You would think of all the Hall of Fame players, some other guys would have a better season than Hugh Duffy did, but nope. He comes out number 2. 3, Hack Wilson, because he hit 56 homers, 191 RBIs, and 356. So he's 603. Him and Duffy tied, and 5 short of Babe Ruth, as far as total score for the season. Rounding out the top 10, you got Chuck Klein, then 5, Lou Gehrig, 6, Roger Hornsby, 7, Jimmy Fox, 8, Al Simmons, 9, Sam Thompson, and 10, Nap Lajoie. So if you want to know where the 162 players ranked as far as their best batting season, got to get the book. So I go all the way down to 162. So that, what do you think of these chapters? I go back here at table of contents. That was chapters 36, 162 players combined stats ranked career. And then chapter 37, my favorite 162 Hall of Fame players ranked. And then 38, the best batting seasons. Chapter 38, best batting seasons ranked. All right, the next video on baseball is a numbers game. I'm going to get into pitching. Got 75 pitchers in the Hall of Fame. Now I'm going to go over their ranking and metric scores and see who comes out on top. Stay tuned. Baseball is a numbers game. Incredible stats of Hall of Fame baseball players. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I'm out.